was born in Aberdeen, far up north in Scotland. Moved to Edinburgh when I was about 7, and lived there really for the rest of my the time I spent with my parents at home. And it was when I lived in Edinburgh that I got into canoeing. Had a family day at the beach with my uncle, my mum's brother, who'd done a bit of canoeing over the years, and he brought some canoes along one day to just a beach outside of Edinburgh. Myself and my brother had a shot, and really enjoyed it. We couldn't get them to go in a straight line or anything. They were just recreational canoes on a nice flat day at the beach, but really enjoyed it and wanted to go again. And Fraser and myself decided we'd join the canoe club. We went with my dad a few times to run some easy rivers, learnt the real basics of canoeing, learnt to Eskimo roll, to get it to go in a straight line, the basic turning strokes, all that sort of thing. And yeah, really just loved the sport straight away and really wanted to progress in it. My first great result in the sport was at the European Championships back in 2005 when I finished 4th, which was a big step up from where I'd been at the time. I remember, I was so elated to have got such a great result. I was up there with the best in the world. It was a real confidence boost. However, I did also feel, it was the first race of the season, and I also felt I've got to back this up now. Finishing 4th at the European Championships once, a lot of people get one-off good result. I really need to back this up. And it was actually my family came out to watch me for the first time they'd ever been out to watch at a World Cup race in Spain. And I'd never made a final at a World Cup race before either. And I was just thinking, they've come all this way, I better do well. Yeah, Beijing was my first Olympics, and my previous failure to get to the Olympics in Athens had been a massive disappointment and a bit of a turning point for me. I actually, at the Olympic selection, which was a World Cup race in Athens, I made a little mistake at the top of the course, and it just snowballed, made more and more mistakes, and actually, very embarrassingly, and I'm quite ashamed to say it now, I ended up at the bottom of the course, swearing and hitting my paddle off poles, and drifted past our performance director doing this, which is really not the thing to do at all. So that was a pretty low point. I was absolutely devastated. That's your chance every 4 years to go to Olympic Games, and I thought I had a bit of a shout, and completely blew it. But yeah, it formed a bit of a turning point for me really, and started to work a lot more on my attitude. And although I was very determined and trained incredibly hard, I was a fast athlete by that time. I wasn't particularly consistent, and I was quite a perfectionist, and I'd caused that to lead me to be very frustrated. I'd give up very easily. And really, that next 4 years was a chance for me to turn that around, which I did fairly quickly, and worked on it time and time again, just focusing on my own performance, not concerning myself with beating others, and just do my best day in, day out in training. And obviously it takes time, and it is a progression, and it's not just one or the other, but I made good progress with that, and my results just got better and better. And over that 4 years up to Beijing, I won a World Cup medal in the first year of the Olympic cycle, won a World Cup gold the next year, finished runner-up on the World Cup overall, and it just really, my results got better and better. And by the time it came to Beijing, I was very confident that I could go there, and I had a very good chance of winning an Olympic medal. The way I'd kind of looked at it with my coaches, there were 5 athletes realistically who, if everyone performed well, the 3 medals would go between those 5 athletes. And I knew, that I was just there to put in a good performance, and I might have been 5th, and I accepted that. But I put in a good performance, which was all I knew I could do. And sure enough, it was on the day it was good enough for 2nd, and I was really proud actually to win an Olympic silver medal. I didn't feel like I'd gone there and lost a gold. I felt I'd gone there and performed to my best. After Beijing, it was I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to continue in the sport really, and decided that I did want to continue, and part of my motivation for that was taking up the canoe doubles as well as the singles, and that was, you know, a really exciting challenge at the time. No one had ever considered doing that, really. And so that was obviously a bit of a learning curve. I was going from training full time for C1 to suddenly having to divide my time between training for C1 and C2. So over the 4 years it's been a gradual build-up. We've obviously had a lot to learn in C2, and I had to obviously move on in C1 as well, you know. Just to maintain the level I was at wouldn't be good enough. The sport moves on every year. People get faster and faster and better and more consistent, and you have to raise your game every single year, even just to stay in the sort of position in the world that you're at. Yeah, if I wasn't canoeing, I don't really know what I'd be doing. So yeah, I've got a degree in mathematical physics, and I'd hope that I could use those skills one day when I'm looking for a job. I applied to be a pilot, a commercial airline pilot, which is what my father does. When I was about 18, I didn't get in, but I think had I got in, I probably would have turned it down anyway, because I really wanted to canoe at the time. During the Beijing Olympic Games, I applied to the European Space Agency to be an astronaut, which, you know, a lot of people ask me about, and oh, have you always wanted to be an astronaut? And no, not at all. But I've always had ambition to do, you know, to do something really interesting and exciting with my life, which I'm very lucky that I get to do canoe slalom, which is something amazing to do. You know, I love it. But you know, if an opportunity like that had presented itself, obviously it was a 1 in a million thing. But if I'd got in, I think, you know, I'd certainly have taken that and gone on to do that. But yeah, I'm not hanging out until a job as an astronaut comes along, until I retire from canoeing. To relax outside of canoeing, I like to do lots of other things, really. Often, you know, other sports if I get a chance. You know, I like to play tennis or golf or go cycling. Also, you know, it's good to, you know, I made a lot of really good friends at university, which was a lot of people I've done a lot of wakeboarding with, and so I like to try and catch up with them whenever I get a chance. Obviously, people's lives move on, and all my friends are sort of dotted throughout the country, but try not to lose touch with all my sort of best friends from university. And yeah, you know, try and, you know, myself and my girlfriend try, whenever we get a free weekend or a free Sunday, try and go and do something with it, rather than we're not people to sit at home and watch television, really. Rather go and visit some friends somewhere, or go out cycling, or go and play golf, or yeah, or you know, go into London and do something. You know, if you were to ask me right now what my perfect day would be, it would probably be waking up feeling good on the morning of the Olympic final in London. You know, driving down to the course, having a great semi-final run, preparing well with my coach, having a great final run, and then standing on the top of the podium. Yeah, you know, I love relax. I'd love to be on holiday, chilling out in the Caribbean or something like that. But I think if it was a choice between that or standing on the top of the podium in London, I don't think there's much choice there.